A war of words has erupted in the past couple of weeks between Billy Joe Saunders and Chris Eubank Jr., with a potential rematch between the pair of them being the subject of debate. Now, Billy Joe Saunders thinks that Eubank Jr. deserves no more than an 80-20 split in Billy Joe's favour, and the Eubanks disagree. They think they deserve a 50-50 split. Now, I'm going to quote the pair of them first and then give my opinions on the issue afterwards. First of all, Billy Joe Saunders was addressing Eubank Sr. here. Let me quote him directly. He said, "Your son has been offered a fight with me twice, and considering he's not even European champion, I reckon 800,000 and 900,000 were two very good offers for very good money. He's only British champion. Other people would jump at the chance to earn that sort of money, and he turned it down twice, let alone the Gennady Golovkin fight where he probably would have earned £1 million. Stop talking shit to get your son talked about. He's already said he wants to defend his British title and win it outright, and I'm certainly not going back down to British level. You want to get a few facts right. If you want an 80-20 split, then speak to my manager and my promoter. That split is in my favour because I'm the champion. I've already beaten you and you're a sore loser in my eyes. I've moved on to bigger and better things. I'm certainly looking at the big fights, including Golovkin, in the next couple." Now, Eubank Jr. responded by saying this: "With that type of talk, as far as I understand, he's trying to price himself out of the fight. He knows 80-20 will never happen. He can talk a good game, but he's very boring in the ring. I think he's an extremely boring fighter. He's boring to watch. He steals fights and does the bare minimum, in my opinion. His boxing style is not exciting. How many times has he fought in the last year? He's got a world title belt and he's not active. It's embarrassing. He does all this fighting on social media. I don't know why he's talking about 80-20. He's not the draw. He has the world title, but I'm the draw. Without me, nobody cares who he's fighting. I'm the only guy people want to see him fight. 50-50 is fine with me. I'll take that. I'm not greedy and he is. He knows this is the only fight he'll be able to get a payday from because nobody wants to watch him fight because he's boring. He knows he needs to make as much money as possible from this one because he's not going to get paid again after this, especially after he loses. And he knows that's coming because he knows last time was a fluke of luck." Those are the words of Chris Eubank Jr. Now, when you look at this purely on paper, then you can only side with Billy Joe Saunders. Because, as he pointed out, he is the champion. He did beat Eubank Jr. the first time out. Eubank Jr. has done nothing on world level since then, unless you want to talk about Chudinov, but I don't really read too much into that win. I think that was not really a world level win in my personal view. Either way, he doesn't have a world title at the moment. He's been fighting British level fights. On what basis could he demand anything more than what Billy Joe Saunders wants to offer him? From that point of view, you can only side with Billy Joe Saunders in terms of on paper. But boxing really is about the money, and what Eubank Jr. said there, whether, he deserves it or not, Eubank Jr. is a more popular fighter than Billy Joe Saunders with the British public. A lot of that has to do with his dad, because his dad's a name. A lot of that has to do with the controversy the pair of them create. A lot of that has to do with the infamous Nick Blackwell fight. Regardless of the reasons, Eubank is a bigger name than Billy Joe Saunders. Now, Billy Joe Saunders is not obligated to give Eubank Jr. anything, not even a penny, not even a shot for a 99.1% split. He don't have to give Eubank Jr. anything or any fight at all. But if he wants to get paid, then he might end up having to give Eubank Jr. more money than he wants to at the moment. It's up to him. That's the thing. That's the problem. This is the bottom line in boxing. It all comes down to who sells the tickets and who's the bigger name in terms of what you get paid. So if Billy Joe Saunders really wants that big payday against anybody other than Golovkin, really, I mean, who could Billy Joe Saunders get a big payday against? The type of payday that Eubank Jr. would get him in the middleweight division right now. I know there's talk about the Canelo fight down the line. We'll have to see if that materializes. But for now, in the immediate future, before the end of the year, the only real name, the only big money that Billy Joe Saunders could earn would be to fight Chris Eubank Jr. He pulled out of the Gabe Rosado fight. He's no longer fighting, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong. On the Canelo Liam Smith undercard, he's just sitting around doing nothing. He hasn't even made one defense of his WBO title yet. Very inactive, and bills need to get paid. So he is going to have that conversation with himself at some point. I know he's a very prideful man, Billy Joe Saunders, and as he should be. But as unfair as it is, he might have to give Chris Eubank Jr. a larger split in order to actually get himself paid. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens here, people. At the moment, it looks as though both of them are being stubborn and the fight is not going to happen anytime soon. So, we'll have to look in other directions. Obviously, Chris Eubank Jr. has got a British title defense lined up next against Tommy Langford. Most people expect him to deal with Langford with relative ease. After that, we'll see what happens. Billy Joe, as far as I'm aware, again, correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't have any fights lined up at the moment. So, yeah, let me know how you feel about everything I talked about in this video, people. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.